So Prabhupada was like totally into samadhi. He was already locked into this place wherever he was, you know. And so he like cracked his eyes open and he looked around the room and he says, "You don't know this song? Tomorrow you'll know this song." And then he put the cartels away and he gave Bhagavad Gita class. So the next day the temple authority gave us copies of the song. So everybody had a sheet in front of them. So Prabhupada does it again. And now we're repeating. But Paramahansa Swami, who had the mridanga, he didn't know how to play this 2/4 beat. So Prabhupada says, "Give me the mridanga." Now at this point, I was Satsvarup Maharaj's assistant in the BBT library party in America. So I got to be sitting next to him a lot. And that's how I actually got to go to India, because of his mercy. And so Satsvarup Maharaj, he nudges me and he says, "Wow, Srila Prabhupada hasn't played a mridanga in 3 years. This is a special night." So I was like, wow, wow. So Prabhupada gets this mridanga, and Atlanta is a very humid place. And the drum was very flappy. It had no sound, plap, plap, bang, bang, it was nothing, Prabhupada looks at it like this, And there was a devotee in the temple, in the crowd, his name was Dear Krishna. He was one of the 5 big Kirtanias of our day. Sachi, Chitananda, these were the big famous Kirtanias. And they had gotten a Satish Chand mridanga, like a Stradivarius violin. This was a Satish Chand mridanga, Instead of being red with the yellow and white red stripes, it was blue with white, It's completely different. So he comes stepping through the crowd and he brings it up to Srila Prabhupada. But it also had this flappy sound. The skin was loose, there was no sound. So miracle number 1, Prabhupada's sitting right in front of us, 500 devotees. And he hits this bang, 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 bing, 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 bang, bang. And he looks at everybody, and everybody goes, "Jai, Srila Prabhupada," Pure devotee, we cooperate, And so immediately that was the miracle, number 1 miracle. And then that was Saturday. That was Friday night, or Saturday night. Sunday was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. Now, I may not remember this correctly, but it seems to me that the devotees are also miracle makers, because there was no picture of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. So this is Atlanta, this is on the East Coast. California is 3,000 miles away.
15 minutes.
Okay.
15 minutes.
15 minutes? Acha.
You have to concentrate.
Okay. Radhe, 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 radhe. So then they send, and Prabhupada, they had to get this picture of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. The only picture was in Mayapur. Now in those days you had to make a trunk call. A trunk call is an appointment. You got to set an appointment to make a phone call. And who's going to answer it in Mayapur? It's going to be a Bengali probably, and the language, and it'll never work. But Karandar, he was a magic man. Prabhupada, he was like the second authority. There were 3 authorities. There was Srila Prabhupada, Bali Mardan, and Karandar. They were like, whatever they said was right. And he could do anything. Anybody couldn't do anything, send it to Karandar. He'll do it. So he somehow or another, he was able to get this painting onto a plane from Mayapur car to the airport, Calcutta, all the way to New York, to Atlanta, and into the temple room the next day, 24 hours later. Magic. That cannot happen in real life. Anyway, there's the picture. Prabhupada made another instruction, that whenever there's a puja of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the Vyasasana has to be 2 inches taller than his. That was his law. So Prabhupada's doing the puja, and as he's doing it, and I'm right up next to his elbow. I'm right there. I can see the hairs in his ears, and the lines in his neck, the 3 lines in the back of his neck, and breathing, the hairs out of his nose, the profile shot as he's doing the arti. I'm like only, I'm that far away from his transcendental form, The elbow is right at my face, And all the devotees behind me, they're all pushing to see, So I'm like at a 45-degree angle, trying to keep from touching Prabhupada, Pushing back, trying to keep from running into him. So miracle number 2. Prabhupada is doing the artik, and he comes to the shanka, the water in the conch shell. And there's no reciprocal, there's no bowl. So everyone's chanting Hare Krishna loud. I mean, there must be 100 mridangas, 500 cartels, everyone's roaring, So, and I'm right there, so I can see exactly what Prabhupada is saying. So he looks at the authorities who were at the other side of the room, and he says, because you couldn't hear because of the voice, Prabhupada goes, I need a bowl. But they thought he was saying, change the mantra to Haribol. And so everybody starts chanting Haribol. Haribol! Haribol! And now the room is roaring Haribol. And Prabhupada, like this. Now this is the most amazing thing. This was a law against nature. What is that mystic yogic city where it contradicts nature?
Lagima.
Yeah.
Make it lighter?
No, this was where you contradict nature. Pratya something. Anyway, Prabhupada takes this. Now, the Vyasasana is 3 tiers up. It's right about at Prabhupada's chest level, and there's a tulsi plant next to Bhakti Siddhanta's picture. And the plant, sitting in this pot. Prabhupada takes this water and he tosses it with such casualness, like if he was throwing away trash. He just throws this water like nothing. And this water comes out of that conch shell in a perfect stream, comes to the plant of Srimati Tulsi Devi and goes around the plant. And it's 4 feet away, no splashing. It was amazing. And all of us up front, of course, our jaws drop. Wow, and 3 times. No problem, like nothing. And we're like, overwhelmed by the whole thing. That was miracle number 2. Then the miracle number 3, the one that really changed my heart. Because I have to say that at this moment I had doubts. Now Srila Prabhupada, he knows he's a scholar, but anybody can be a scholar. He's coming chanting Hare Krishna, but anybody can do that. Maybe he's not a pure devotee. Maybe he's just a really sweet young old man who came to save our lives. But, so I had this doubt, And Prabhupada got the shanka, the conch shell, to blow. Now it was only this big. The hole was smaller than a pencil. And I'm right there, like I said, I'm like, only 9-10 inches away from Prabhupada's face. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, this old man is not going to be able to blow this conch shell. And, he's going to be embarrassed and we're all going to have doubts and what's he going to do? That was what my mind was saying to me. Prabhupada put this up to his mouth. Now, I promise this is what happened. Prabhupada puts his conch shell up to his mouth, and he did not take a breath. He did not adjust his lips. He simply put it to his mouth, and the conch shell, woo, 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 3 times perfectly. He did not take a breath. I'm looking, I'm checking, And he did not do anything. He did not, he didn't do anything with his lips. He just simply put it to his mouth, and it went.